It's so much more than just a bunch of stories. Like within the dreaming is our concept of time and space, which is a lot different from the dominant Western view.
I'm Carol Speechley. I'm a local Aboriginal woman, one of the knowledge holders here in the Illawarra. And I'm also doing my PhD through Uni of Wollongong. My PhD is all about the Illawarra.
The story goes that a long time ago there was the West Wind. The name of the West Wind is Wodi. The West Wind had 6 daughters, and the 6 daughters were Wilga, Mimosa, Lillipilli, Wattle, Clematis and Gira. There was a family of Aboriginal custodians. They were Wodi Wodi people. All of the Illawarra Aboriginal people, they used to have their summer camps closer to the ocean in the warmer months, but then in the winter or in the colder months, they moved further up onto the escarpment to the shelters and the camping places up there. It's like country used to tell them when it was time to move, like when certain plants were flowering or stopped flowering, and it's also like depending on what the birds were doing as well, they'd know when it was time to go. And they used to go up and up on the escarpment and visit their cousins, visit the 6 sisters up there. Quite often when they went up to visit them, Mimosa was very naughty, very like fighting with her cousins and not very friendly, and her father, the West Wind, got very angry at her. He blew her and the rock that she was sort of the part of the escarpment that she was standing on, blew it out to sea, and that became like the first of the 5 islands. She couldn't swim back in because it's can get pretty bad here for sharks. And then the second time one of the sisters did something wrong, it was Wilga. One time when the West Wind came back from fanning fires out near Appin and out west, when the West Wind returned home, he found Wilga. Wilga was the second one. Wilga was playing with the lizard, and she hadn't looked after herself. She hadn't done her hair. Like Aboriginal people did used to brush their hair. They used to brush their hair with the Banksia, and she hadn't done that. She hadn't cleaned herself, like washed herself. And so she ended up, the West Wind ended up blowing her and the piece of rock that she was on out to sea, and that became the second island, the second of the five islands. Like you'd think that would have been a lesson to the other sisters, but it wasn't. 3 of the other sisters, and that was Wattle, Lillipilli and Clematis, they all did the wrong thing. The sisters were, when they were thrown out on the island, they didn't become the island at all, but they were on the island. The island was that part of the escarpment that they were sitting on or standing on when their father blew them out. That's in the story, that's what the islands are. Because see, what that story is about too, it's a bit about traditional Aboriginal law as well, but other things were against the law as well, like not looking after yourself or not looking after your country is against the law. That's breaking Aboriginal law. That's one of the reasons why the story is important and always was important, because it used to teach the next generation that those laws are just as important as the more serious laws. You've got to look after country. The dreaming is like the spiritual glue that keeps all of this, what we call reality, together. Without dreaming, all this that you can see here, you know, like, and I'll just say from a perspective of where we are, the trees and everything, he said, would just go. And it was from that point on that I knew that it was a lot bigger than I'd ever even thought of.